Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So this week we'll be talking about life after internship. So we've done med school, we've done internship, so now we'll be talking about life after internship. So we have some questions that Titania is going to ask us, and then we'll answer them from our experiences. And if you have any tips, we'll add them as the video goes and some towards the end. Yeah, so stay tuned.
Okay, so now we've already talked about internship. Now you finished your 52 weeks of internship. Now what next? I've just finished your last rotation. Now we'll talk about how to go about that in terms of your logbook, what documents you need, and now the process of registration at the board. So like after you finish, okay, normally you have this logbook. Essentially it should be filled up continuously as you go.
Yeah.
But for most centers, they usually just like to do it after. But obviously they'll assess your progress as you go. Also sometimes you might be given weeks in a certain department, now depending on what the consultant feels about your progress and how qualified you are. So some may add.
Tell them what weeks are.
So now each rotation for our year, we're doing each rotation was
11 weeks.
So if the consultant adds weeks, meaning you do 2 more weeks, roughly usually 2 to 4 weeks now depending. So they'll say, okay, I've given you weeks. So you do 2 extra weeks, for example, in that given department until they're satisfied with your performance. Yeah. But I've also had a case where like when centers know they're not going to have interns, they ongeza weeks for them just so that they're covered until they get interns. Yeah.
That's not fair.
That's not fair because it's not a legitimate reason why you're giving me weeks. Yeah. So you need to fill your logbook with each department. It has very many sections. So your consultant has to sign, the hospital director has to sign, and your internship coordinator also has to sign your logbook before now you proceed to the board.
If you ask me, it's very repetitive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they just put one big bracket and then one sign. People are like, I'm not going to sign each individual. But it's actually a very bulky book.
Yeah.
It should just be one sheet of paper. All the departments, the head just signs, and that's it.
Or stamps.
Because then when you go to the board, you notice they really don't.
No,
they don't scrutinize it. They plan.
Exactly.
They give you like half of the logbook.
That's the
thing you don't need.
Yeah. Do you know I was almost sent back?
Why?
Because I don't know what made me print my logbook in landscape.
Oh yeah, I know why you printed yours.
Instead of portrait. So the guy puts it in my file. He's like, Dr. I've never seen anything like that in all my years. Now you've just spoiled my mood. How am I going? No, I'll have to keep turning it when I'm looking at your file.
Oh my gosh.
So you're just sitting like, please don't. He was so angry.
Especially when they're removing the binding. I felt pain. I was like, you should have told us in advance.
Yeah.
We don't need to bind these things.
Yeah.
And waste all this printing money.
Yeah. Even I feel like the beginning part, the part that they give you back.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have printed that.
True.
Because now what am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
This card.
Yeah, but that's money gone.
Yeah.
So once you've taken your logbook back to the board and your internship completion certificate.
And more passport photos.
Again.
Yeah, now you just fill a form and then wait to be registered, or you pay money. You pay like
A lot of money.
5,000
8,000 for the registration.
for registration. And then it's such a process getting your CPD points to get you registered. A friend gave me a tip. She said when you go to collect your registration certificate, do that process there. So that if you have an issue, they help you. Me, I sat there and I said, I'm not leaving. This thing is giving me trouble. Imagine the guy just took my phone and did everything.
Yeah, they're very helpful.
Yeah.
So at some point he was like, just go upstairs so IT will help you. Yeah, they're always
They're
very
quite
efficient by the way. They can't say they're very efficient.
Yeah, then you have your certificate, which you will have with you for life. Then now you apply for your license, which is renewable every year, which is more money.
10,000.
10,000.
Hey! So that's 18,000. Actually, they make money.
Just put
15,000.
6,000 aside. Please don't choose all your money, your last salary.
Yeah.
Some applied for that.
And then they also need the indemnity cover.
Oh yes, which is 7,000.
It's more money.
It comes to 20. Actually, it's 25k.
Yeah. And these things you're not told.
Yeah.
So now just make sure you save your last monies. Yeah. Then after that, now you're a certified doctor.
Yeah.
You can go look for a job.
The process of looking for a job.
It's hard, man.
A tip I was given actually was in your last rotation, it's good to now start identifying where you would want to work, what your ideal job looks like, and if there are any applications that you see online or wherever else, start applying. Even though you may not have all the documents, the experience also of applying is, it's a good experience. And then there are some jobs will take a while to get back to you. So by the time you're done with the internship, you already have the documents, and then that's when they'll be asking you, okay, doc, send us now your documents. So it doesn't hurt to also start doing that. Don't wait until you're done, and then now this is when you want to start looking for work. Because it won't come then.
It will
take a while.
Do you want to share your experiences of getting a job?
Now first, there's some hospitals which retain some of their interns, not depending. I think mostly like the mission hospitals, they can, because it's a county hospital, it's not up to them to retain you, because you have a county public service board. They're the ones who do all that process of employment. So at that point, like you've done your internship at a county hospital, it might be difficult for you to be retained, but then again, it depends on the county where you're working. Different counties have different policies when it comes to that. So if you're fortunate enough to be retained, that's now someone else will talk about their experience working in the same hospital they interned in. Now for me, I was entertained by my hospital, and I've been unemployed for the longest time, and it was so difficult. It is so difficult because first of all, you're going from operating as an intern, high pressure, you're constantly busy, to now, okay, what am I doing? I've gotten this certificate, what am I doing? So you start applications. I really made many applications. At first I was doing online applications, but I did not get any response. I think I only got one response from all the applications I've made in terms of like feedback, like whether you proceeded or not. So I decided now to start going there physically and taking my CV. Unfortunately, some hospitals tell me, or just apply online to the portal, and then I'm just like, will you look at these things? Well, like that's their policy, so you do that. But for some other hospitals, they already have an online application portal, and at least I got a response from one of them, which I applied online, which I'm happy about. Otherwise, what I can say is that having someone else to commend you really helps. It goes a long way. Knowing someone really goes a long way. And another thing, always let people know you're actively looking for a job. Because then they can easily recommend you. They hear there's a post and opening the hospital, or I think Sense would be best suited for this job. I'd recommend them, and they can take your word better than sifting through many applications.
But then I feel like there's someone hired to go through applications. It's good, recommendations are actually good, but not everyone has that opportunity to be recommended. So I feel like even this people who are advertising for jobs, just do your work. Like if people have applied, just go through the applications. If you're not gonna hire them, an apology letter is so that they know they get closure.
Being given blue ticks for job applications,
it's
really
not
hard
right.
because you're just like, what's wrong with me? Am I not qualified enough? It's so demoralizing. Especially you spend so much time in school, you put in a lot of effort even in your internship, and then after that you're just like, okay, was all of that for nothing,
For me, mine is slightly different. So I was retained where I did my internship. I wouldn't say it's a bad experience, but I recommend if you can go somewhere different, do it. Because, when you work where you are let me not say a superior, but you are
Inferior.
inferior.
And you are here.
Yeah. So now it's a bit hard for people to
Take you
take you
seriously.
seriously, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. So you'll struggle a bit just trying to find your ground and having people try to understand that no, you're no longer an intern. Now you're working as a medical officer. Yeah. So I say if you can get a job somewhere else, do it. But if you get the job immediately after internship, I mean, you can take it as you're looking for others. There's no harm in that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at least now you're sure there's some income, but you're still constantly searching. And there's a nurse who told me, she's so nice. She was like, Daktari, you're a young person. Don't get comfortable.
Yeah.
Do not get comfortable. Make sure you're trying to improve. You know, learn something from here, move. Learn something from here, move. Yeah, I was like, that makes so much sense.
It's important.
Yeah, because you can't get everything from the same place. Yeah.
I also was retained
Special.
where I did my internship. I say retained because I basically did volunteer work.
Yeah.
That's what I'll call it, because out of the couple of months that I worked there, I didn't get paid for a big part of it. That was not the agreement. I was supposed to get paid, but you know, county government, I don't know, politics.
It's beyond your control.
Yeah. So like she said, you can stay where you are because you're assured of a salary as you're trying to look for the next step.
Yeah.
Now me, I was not assured, but I stuck it out. Eventually I felt like it was too much, so I left. Ended up applying like Titania to so many different places, getting blue ticked, but eventually God is good, found a place. And no one really prepares you for that kind of struggle, because at the end of the day you're working and you're not getting paid. And there are so many stories about unemployed doctors and people don't seem to believe it, but it's the reality and we've lived it. So many doctors have lived it.
And they're still living
it. Yeah. So it's a big bad world out there, but just keep going, don't give up. Things will get better for sure.
Adulting is the worst food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I was also kind of retained at the center at which I did my internship. So my dad always tells me, like, the best time to look for a job is when you have a job. So in that period the period that I was working now post-internship, I was also actively looking for work. And like they said, it can be very demoralizing because you do your best to send out several applications and you try to make like your applications great. But when you hear no response, you even physically go to the centers, you travel, you spend a lot of money just taking yourself there, only to be told, sorry, I will get back to you. Sorry, we're not looking for any. Yeah, we're not hiring. Yeah, it can get you down, that's for sure. Like she said, don't give up, because eventually something gives, and we're thankful that now currently we're all working. And then another thing is people will really take advantage of you and offer you less than you deserve, or working conditions won't be great. And because you're desperate, you don't have any source of income, you might be tempted to take the offer. And you know what, we can't really judge anyone who does. But you understand that people have different circumstances and at different points or times in their lives. So it's just we just want to put it out there that it's not as glamorous as it may seem, especially in the beginning. It can be quite tough. You need to be resilient and to have grit, because you'll really go through it. Post-internship, it's not easy. You'll really go through it, especially in terms of job hunting.
Then another tip I have for you is do courses. Obviously, like after internships, a lot of centers require you to have ACLS and BLS, which is Advanced Cardiac Life Support and Basic Life Support Training. Some also require you to have Trauma Life Support Training and Pediatric Life Support Training, which you can all do in the meantime as you continue searching for employment, because it really adds to your skills and your qualifications as a doctor, especially since most places require you to have that. Again, that is an extra cost. Depending on where you do it, it can really be a lot of money.
Oh, and then please make sure you do it when you've gotten your license so that you get CPD points.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, so they're not wasted.
Yeah, so they're not wasted.
So that's we got in 2020 and there were 20 whole points.
Yeah.
They just went in 2020. Yeah. So make sure it's good for you to keep busy so that again you don't become too rusty. Another thing I'd recommend is do online courses, especially now. Like what I use is an website called Coursera. They have very good courses. Some of them you have to pay if you want to get a certificate. If you want to get the certificate, you don't need to pay. You get all the material you need, and you'll be able to continue learning. But there are also some which they waive and they do it for free. Because I know there was a training for COVID that was waived, and I found it really beneficial. So those are things you can continue doing to keep you busy, because they also add to your skills and your qualifications as a doctor. Then again, there's the other option. Okay, you don't really have to go into job hunting immediately, because some people know what they want to do. And if you're able to go into your master's program immediately, that's also just as good. But don't feel the pressure to know what you want to do by the time you're done with the internship. Because for myself, I don't know what I want to do post internship as a master's program, but I know what I don't want to do, which is progress in itself. At least you're cancelling out. Okay, I don't want to do this. And I guess the more you work and the more experience you get, you'll be able to somehow narrow in into what you want to do. So don't be too hard on yourself in that aspect. Take your time. It doesn't matter whether you go back for master's program 10 years from now. It doesn't matter if you decide also not to go back. Because you don't have to take the same path everyone else has taken.
Another thing is, if you feel like internship was like really intense and you need a break, take a break. Take a break. It's good for your mental health. So if you can't travel,
climb mountains.
Climb mountains.
Go hiking.
Do something you always wanted to do. Just take a break, and then you'll be in a good mind space to actually think about now if you're ready to start looking for a job, or if this is not the path you want anymore,
But that will have required you to save. You can't take a break and you're out of all your money.
So actually, go to our previous video and look at tips for internship. Okay.
Also taking a break during the job application or job hunting process, take breaks in between, because it can be so stressful and so overwhelming not getting a response for all the hard work you're doing. Like taking a break in between helps refresh you, can strategize better, and then now come back into it. I think it's very important.
With regards to job hunting also, I feel like it's important to communicate to your loved ones and your friends if you want them to keep asking you the progress, because sometimes that can actually take you back. When someone keeps asking you, so how is your job hunting going? Have you gotten a job yet? So sometimes that can really do a number on your psyche. So if you feel like that's something that will trigger you, just communicate with your people. Please don't ask me about it.
I'll tell you when I get a job.
Volunteer the information when I'm ready. I will ask for the help when I feel like I need to ask for it.
Another thing is, Sunny actually mentioned it, is make sure you're constantly making people aware that you're looking for a job. Because the recommendations can actually go a long way.
And people will always remember you. Sometimes positions are not advertised as discreetly as openly as that. They're usually sometimes a bit discreet. You won't find them everywhere.
It's true.
So someone can forward to you, and then that's how you end up getting a job. And then again, also this tips not only apply to medicine, it's anyone who's just finished the university phase of life, and then when you're outside, they're trying to start your career. It's the same thing across the board, I believe. Same experiences.
Lastly, be open to working anywhere. I mean, it's an opportunity to experience new experiences.
Do you remember the way you asked? The way you were asking, but it's far.
It's true. You never know what will come.
Think about it. Be open to it. Okay, but it's far. And then I'll be alone. See, you're doing well now.
It's true.
Another thing I've learned this year is it's good to diversify your sources of income. If you've had, let me say, hobbies or interests that you see can be a source of income to you, explore them. I mean, it's always good to try. You might fail, but I mean, you tried.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing. Huh?
Plug yourself.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, so like I started making granola. Actually, it was just on a whim, by the way. I was just like, I feel like I can do it. So I made it once and then it burnt a bit. And I was like, no, let's try it again.
And you make it from scratch.
Yeah, I make it from scratch.
Tell them how they can order.
So yeah, you can order, but I'll put it on my Instagram and I'll link it on this. It's called what? The description bar. Yeah, so I make granola and I sell. It's not expensive. And it's very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you can diversify your sources of income and you can find out that it can be therapeutic for you after a long day of work. You might find out it's actually something that you enjoy more than what you're actually doing. I saw this thing that someone said, if you have something you enjoy more, do it as you're doing your job. You might find that you'll reach a point where it's making enough to sustain you, and you find out that the job you were doing before doesn't bring you that happiness anymore.
That's how people start business.
Yeah. So just try something new if you've always wanted to do it.
Yes. Then it's also really important not to take things personally. In this journey, you will go through so much. You will have so many struggles looking for a job, people insulting you, people, offering you less than your worth, people not paying you for work that you've done and not being apologetic about it. Like there's so much that you'll have to bear, and if you take things personally, you can really get affected negatively. So it's important to just realize that for the most part, number one, your employer is not your friend.
Hey, it's not.
So I mean, we hope for the best, but when things don't go well, it's not about you. Just tell yourself it's them. They're the problem. So just keep at it, keep working. Also something else to add is there's a mistake I made when I was starting now my job, is I hadn't signed the contract beforehand. So if you haven't signed a contract, nothing goes. Whatever you talked outside, it doesn't go. So make sure if you're going to start working for someone somewhere, sign the contract, so that you know everything. But in Kenya, people don't respect. I had signed a contract.
Hey, no matter what, at least you had signed a contract. So even if you're to get your arrears anytime, you signed the contract. Like now I hadn't signed. So at that point, nothing goes. If I say I worked for these hours, who hired you? Yeah. So just make sure you sign the contract
at the least.
Yes, at the least before you start working.
Something else I'd like to add, there are so many documents you'll need when applying for a job. Those are other costs to add on to, because there's some documents you need from the government, such as your KRA PIN, your compliance certificate, your health clearance, certificate of good conduct, and clearance from EACC. Most places where you're applying would require that, not even for only a position as a doctor, for most careers, especially when you work with the government. That's another cost to remember that you have to incur at that point. And then again, like for us, we're just at the beginning of our careers. Nothing is set in stone. You never know where you'll be in the next 3, 5, or 10 years. So just take each day as it comes and enjoy the journey along the way, and be open-minded. Who knows where you'll be?
Someone said something about those documents. Can you imagine this is someone who's looking for a job and you're telling them to get all these documents, and for each of them they're paying here, paying here. You're just like,
a 3K here,
imagine
another 1K.
And this time you're looking for a job, meaning you don't have, that
funds.
money. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Oh, and then lastly, when you become a medical officer, your license is on the line. So just make sure to take your work seriously and do everything you're supposed to do the way you're supposed to do it, because you can actually lose your license. Yeah.
And treat your interns well, because you
Yeah.
were also an intern at a
Gosh.
point, and you also wanted a medical officer who could help you when you needed help, who was kind to you and who could teach you. So be the MO you wanted to be. Like me, I don't understand how you were just an intern and then now you're an MO, you're teaching another intern very badly.
Imagine.
And it's not
Just
even
not
been a year, like why are you
So
doing
shameful.
that? It's not right at all. Like kindness goes along when you don't know what kind of impact you can have on that intern or whoever is working alongside you in terms of how they'll continue life. Like it makes such a big difference having approachable MOs. Like MOs can really make your rotation either really good or really bad. Like, so when you progress and become qualified to be an MO, be a good MO to your interns.
So thank you so much guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or tips to add or any questions, please drop them in the comment section. Otherwise, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for sticking around. Bye.
Bye.